Alright, today we wanted to just chat about some games where we want to know when they're actually coming out. So often this happens, right? A big cool game is announced with a flashy trailer, some exciting gameplay, whatever, and then it goes completely dormant, with people excited for the game, wanting to try the game, crying out for a release date or some crumb of information. So today we're talking about 10 new games, new upcoming games that still don't have a release date, and we'd really like to hear one. Starting off at number 10, Ark 2. Of course, this is the follow-up to Ark Survival Evolved, the big, massive, open-world survival game that really exploded in popularity. Probably a lot thanks to people playing it on Twitch, doing Let's Plays on YouTube. This game exploded. People loved Ark, and just when you thought they were going to capitalize on it, well, they've been taking their sweet time with the sequel. So if you don't even remember, Ark 2 was revealed in, I believe, 2020, and then had that big trailer featuring Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur, and apparently he was working on the game in some creative capacity. Look, that was a long time ago. It is now 2025, and it seems like the studio behind this has been working on some things, like they had released content for original Ark, they had done a re-release and stuff like that. For right now, a lot of people have considered Ark 2 canceled. It's not canceled, but it just kind of was postponed with no definite release date. A lot of people thought it was going to launch at some point late in 2024, and that came and went. Now, in an interview from a few months back, the developers said that Ark 2 is coming hopefully within the next 2 years, so 2025, 2026, maybe 20, who knows? Honestly, it seems like people are still looking forward to it, or at the very least visiting subreddits and posting, hey, is this game canceled or what? Ark had a lot of momentum, and at this point, I think there's been such a gap that now it's not momentum or capitalizing on the success of the first, and now hopefully just taking the time, really wow people, and giving them something that they haven't seen in the original Ark. Next, over at number 9, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. A lot of people were hoping this would be like a Switch 2 launch title, but as of right now, we don't really know when it's coming. This game has been in the works for so long. It's been demoed, it's been previewed. I actually got my hands on it at a preview section. I got to play like the first level of the game. I thought it was absolutely awesome. A great return to form. Just feels like more Metroid Prime, which is what you want. But even with the game feeling like it's pretty far along, no release date. A lot of people freaked out a few months back when in the UK Metro, like in the tube stations, there were advertisements for Metroid Prime 4 with people thinking that it was coming soon, but that was really just to generally advertise the Switch 2. So still, we're left with nothing in our hands, just hoping for a release date soon. I expect in the coming months, maybe we'll get like a full Nintendo Direct where Nintendo shows off more gameplay, more details, and then ultimately a release date. But for right now, people are just begging because people have been waiting for this for so long. This was announced years ago. It changed developers. There's a whole thing behind it. So we're hoping soon is when we finally maybe get the return of some first-person Samus action. And you bet your ass that when it does come out, I'll be doing the before you buy video on it. So subscribe. We've been saying it recently because we looked at our data, and technically a lot of you guys that watch this aren't actually subscribed. So hit that button and you'll know when we talk more about games like this. Anyway, enough of that YouTube spiel, let's move on. Next at number 8, Subnautica 2. This is another big open survival game that hooked people that is getting a sequel, and it's taken a long time. So this was initially revealed, we knew something was coming in 2022. Since then, we've only got little glimpses and stuff like that of this game, with the first screenshots and trailers only appearing in 2024, and even that was only so much. A lot of people were expecting early access to come in 2025, and now that has officially been pushed. That's been delayed by the publisher. They made an announcement that the early access release is delayed to 2026. There was a lot of development team change-ups as well, and some legal issues that we don't have time to get into here, but however that sorts itself out, people just want more Subnautica, man. According to some, the early access release was ready, like it didn't need to be delayed to 2026. So whether that's true or not, either way, I'm just hoping that maybe we see it at least in early 2026 and not late 2026, but again, that's just me spitballing, so who knows. Next at number 7, here's one that I have been begging to hear something about. I need a release date for this. This is Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is like my type of game. Like, this is a Jake Baldino game because this is just like a cinematic third-person action-adventure thing directed by Amy Hennig. Of course, one of the people behind the original Uncharted games. She worked on Soul Reaver back in the day. And it's 1943, occupied France, and who are you squaring off with? Captain America, presumably his Howling Commandos, and Black Panther. This for me was just a really cool idea, right? As a big fan of Captain America comics, Ed Brubaker comics, just seems like a match made in video game heaven. It was showed off quite a bit, and much was made about the graphics. And I gotta say, the game is definitely like an Unreal Engine showcase. It looks insane. It kind of looks like a movie. It doesn't look real. I still don't know how this game is actually going to play. We thought we would see more of this game during the summer, like at some showcase reveal or like a summer Game Fest presentation or something like that, because the game was slated for holiday 2025. But we didn't get anything, and that also means that the game has been rescheduled to release sometime in early 2026. So at this point, I'd like to know when. Honestly, I don't want them to rush. I want them to get it right, but still, it felt like we almost had it. It was coming this holiday season, and now it's not. When you have that ripped away from you, that always sucks when you're looking forward to something. Anyway, I digress. Next at number 6, State of Decay 3. This is another one that just feels like it's been a long time coming. I believe State of Decay 3 was announced for Xbox and PC from Xbox Game Studios and Undead Labs in 2020. And since then, to be completely honest, it's been almost radio silence. All we got was that cinematic trailer, and it made sense, right? Because Microsoft had actually acquired Undead Labs, the studio, in 2018, so we knew they were working on something. But we went so long without hearing anything else. Then we finally got a more recent gameplay trailer that looked awesome. It showed a little bit more like what looked like gameplay here and there, new zombie types and action, but even with that, no release date, no nothing. All we have is a confirmation that this still exists. It's good to know that. I mean, I'm glad they didn't cancel it or anything, like Microsoft and Xbox have recently canceled quite a few other games. I'm looking forward to State of Decay 3, but we just don't know when. Next over at number 5, Phantom Blade Zero. A lot of people have been begging for a release date for this one, just honestly because it looks pretty cool. This action-adventure hack-and-slash game with over-the-top animations and cool parries and crazy boss battles just looks like what the doctor ordered. I got to check out an early version of this game, like a work-in-progress version, over a year ago, and I can confirm that, yes, it is real, and it was pretty cool. It plays a lot like how it looks. It's got cool over-the-top special abilities, different weapons that go nuts. You could switch them up mid-combo, a little bit of ranged action. And even more recently, press and influencers did get their hands on the game at a preview thing, and yeah, word on the street is it is pretty cool. This is being developed by S-Game, a studio coming out of Hong Kong. So once again, we see the rising influence of Chinese game development here. So not only just like with over-the-top flashy graphics, but some cool gameplay chops to back it up. I really hope Phantom Blade Zero can live up to the premise it set with that original trailer. It just seems so cool. It seems like it's on the right track, but we're going to judge every game when we get our hands on it. And that's a problem. We don't know when this is coming. It feels like soon, but still, we're just going to wait and see. Next over at number 4. Hey, do you remember DokeV? You might not remember the name because it's weird, but look at this. Do you remember when this game was revealed and people went nuts for it? Yes, even if you forgot, people are still really wondering where the hell this game is. This South Korean open world, fun, creature catching kind of Pokemon style game is developed by Pearl Abyss, the people behind, of course, Black Desert Online and hopefully more recently than that, Crimson Desert. Now, Crimson Desert has been pushed to 2026, but it seems like their other game, this one, DokeV, is actually even further out. It's been radio silent for quite some time, ever since we got that trailer for it in 2021 that really blew people away. I think it blew people away just because of like the art style, the openness of it, the whimsy of it. I don't know, something about this one really stuck with people, and they've been begging for more information. I think Pearl Abyss really knows what they're doing with making games. Crimson Desert does seem to be pretty cool, and like I said, that was pushed to 2026. So note that when in October 2024, Pearl Abyss said that they expected to release DokeV no earlier than 2027. They said, and I quote, around 18 months after Crimson Desert's launch. So let's just say DokeV is still a long ways off, but hopefully it's worth the wait because it looks weird, fun, quirky, and maybe something a little different. I think Pal World proved that people just like seeing, you know, other studios' take on living, playing, catching creatures, and doing stuff like that style game, as long as Nintendo doesn't sue them. Yeah, I just think it looks cool. I want to play it now. Next up, Marvel's Wolverine. You know, the Wolverine game being developed by Insomniac Games, the people behind Ratchet and Clank, and most recently, the Spider-Man games. Well, yeah, some people forget they announced that they're making a Wolverine game. It had a really cool trailer that just kind of hinted at a bloody, just comic accurate, cool Wolverine, and we haven't really seen anything since. For real. This was announced during the PlayStation Showcase in September 2021, so we're going on years now with radio silence. The only thing we've gotten were some leaks that admittedly it looked like it showed the game very early on, very much work in progress stuff. Not really too much of it is worth looking up. Apparently there are a bunch of other Marvel games in the works, but the one that people keep looking for, the one that people keep asking about every time there's a new like live stream game event or a PlayStation thing, it's Wolverine. Where is Wolverine? We still have no idea. But as a comic book fan and a lover of all things Logan, I hope we actually see this thing at some point. I hope this game sees the light of day. Now at number 2, Light No Fire. This is the newest game from Hello Games, the people behind No Man's Sky. I say that because No Man's Sky released in a poor state. You've probably heard it by now. They took years and years and made the game better and better, and I think they really made up for most of their mistakes. But Light No Fire is a completely different new thing from them. They've spent so much time on No Man's Sky. People want to see what's next. People have been really curious. And Light No Fire, when it was first revealed, it was intriguing. A kind of open world adventure thing with, you know, an emergent world filled with other players and characters going about doing stuff in a kind of weird sci-fi fantasy setting. And apparently the planet is absolutely massive. Like they tried to simulate one whole big ass planet. That sounds incredibly ambitious. We've also heard that from Hello Games before, but it still is leading people to really just want to see what the hell they're cooking. I hope we hear something soon because I could use a game like this. Just looks like a good time if they can pull it off. Next up, if we're talking about ones that people really are begging to hear more about, it's gotta be Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah, it's a thing. They announced it and everything. In April of 2022, they revealed it. It is a work in progress. They had a cool little trailer. The game was apparently running in Unreal Engine 4, but the main game was going to be Unreal Engine 5. It featured Sora in a new world, and it was simple, but it was pretty cool. It looked like it was hitting all the hallmarks of what somebody wants from Kingdom Hearts. But it left people wondering for years, what's going on with that? Where is that? We haven't seen much other than a couple of very small little screenshots that have trickled out from Square Enix. Weirdly enough, they're still keeping this game on the back burner. Apparently it was going to be connected to Missing Link, but Missing Link was canceled in 2025, so we're still kind of left with nothing in our hands with this one. Either way, with this one, it's funny. Even though we don't know much and people are still begging for a release date or something, anything, it's just nice to know in the back of our heads or the back of our hearts that a new Kingdom Hearts is in the works and we're eventually going to get one. When? We just have no idea. Let us know what you think. Let us know what games you're looking forward to. Obviously, this is subject to change. Things get announced all the time, but let us know what other games you're just dying to hear more of. If you like this video, clicking the like button helps us out. We really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.